Stocks kick off November with a 3-day rally. BitMEX CEO says that the bears are in control of the crypto market. And we're going to take a look at weed stocks heading into the midterm election. I'm Justin CCS, and this is Stock Talk Today. So starting out today, we're looking at the stocks, and the stock market is in a 3-day rally after a fairly tumultuous October. And basically what we're looking at right now is we're trying to see whether the stock market is fixing the correction or is ending the correction, is going to continue moving higher, or whether that correction is here to stay for the mid to long term. And in particular, I'm not going to be able to make strong predictions either way just yet, and I don't think anyone can until we get past this historic midterm election that's going to happen in just a few days, so we can kind of get a gauge of where the people are, where their mindset is and where their thought processes are, and we'll get a better idea of that after the election, simply because it's such a heated thing right now. But when it comes to the market as a whole, in my opinion, what we're looking at is the potential of a correction. It's been going, the stock market has been historically just making amazing, fantastic moves. Unemployment's down to 4%. There's all sorts of excellent signs of positivity. With that being said, if it looks like a correction, and if it smells like a correction, then it probably is a correction. So this is something that we're paying particularly close attention to when it comes to the macro view of the stock market. So moving on to cryptos, BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes says that the bears have the strength to hamper cryptos for the foreseeable future. And for those of you who don't know, BitMEX is one of the largest exchanges on for cryptocurrencies out there. And Arthur Hayes is extremely knowledgeable on the subject, and I tend to agree with him when he says this, because he mentioned that he expects bears to have the strength for around 12 to 18 months, because when you look at cryptos and Bitcoin in particular, simply because we have more charts and more history to look at, whenever Bitcoin pops, like what we saw back in 2017, 2018 in December, what you'll see is a steady long-term pullback, a huge correction. And we saw this in 2014 and 2015 when Bitcoin hit $1,000 or around $800, and then it pulled straight back to 400 to around where it was before the amazing shot up. And we see this also when you look at earlier charts of Bitcoin as well. This is a very consistent thing to see. So what this means is that we have to be patient when we're dealing with cryptos and Bitcoin in particular, because I think it's very possible to see Bitcoin hit $3,000 before it's able to turn things around, simply because of the historical charts. It's almost always pulled back to pre-breakout levels, and then it has another breakout again. And in 2016, before it had its major breakout, 2016 to 2017, it was trading at around $3,000 per coin. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at as a target point to see if Bitcoin ever hits that point. And that would be a great time to buy. But the thing that we're looking for in particular, and why we pay attention to macro view cryptos, the reason behind this is that cryptos can be extremely explosive. They can be extremely profitable if you hit them at the right time. So we have to pay constant attention, not intensely, but weekly attention to the cryptos to make sure that things aren't turning around. And right now we are definitely in the throes of a bear pullback, and that we have to ensure that we stay patient during this time. Now, moving on to weed, what we have in store for the midterms is North Dakota, and I want you to pay particularly close attention to North Dakota because it was just a couple of years ago they legalized medical marijuana there. That's one thing. So two, we have recreational coming up. It's a border state to Canada, and that's important simply because I believe that the northern states are not going to be able to regulate or police marijuana usage, so you're definitely going to see decriminalization across the board in the north, and in particular, I expect to see from north to south the states start to legalize recreational weeds simply because they can't actually keep up, or they can't actually police the amount of marijuana that's going to be coming in from just across the border in Canada, where it's completely legal except for edibles and the like, but recreational smoking weed right now legal in Canada, and it's going to affect the states that are closest to Canada right now, and you'll start to see more legalization of recreational marijuana in the United States from north to south, up until the federal government, in my opinion, will probably legalize marijuana recreationally, or at the very least decriminalize it, or at the very least stop making it such a big deal and making it so dangerous to partake in. Now, so basically, and the other thing about North Dakota too is that it's a Republican state, so it gets that whole idea of Republicans not liking marijuana, and kind of puts that in the back seat, and we'll get to see whether a red state will recreationally legalize marijuana, and that's a very fascinating thing to pay attention to heading into the midterm elections in just a couple days. So that is your Stock Talk news for today. I'm Justin CCS, and I'm here to tell you to have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.